It still says I'm streaming. Hmm. Okay, so, um, I really hope it did not fail. Okay, so I'm thoroughly confused here. Yeah, I am completely confused on what's going on with YouTube right now. Because as I'm looking at everything, I have a like. My viewers went down to nothing, but my stream went all chunkla, and it now says that I have only been live for a minute. Okay, so alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and start from the beginning. Damn you, streaming. Okay, so what's going on, everybody? Matt from Lathram. We're going to be talking about, getting started with Keyshot, and I'm just going to kind of float through some of these things. I attempted to stream this to begin with, and everything kind of went sideways. So we're starting from scratch. Yay. Awesome sauce. Anyhow, I digress. So, first and foremost, a little bit of. Just a second, please. Well, that wasn't too bad. Okay, let me fix this train wreck a little bit here. Some, I guess, preface or preface to explain here. First and foremost, I'm not using my render monster for this video. Um, Hopefully, I can in the near future, but for the sake of argument, with this video, I cannot. And also, additionally, I'm not able to work on any legitimate projects yet due to NDAs. So I had to download something from GrabCAD, not something that I modeled, have no affiliation with it or anything like that. That may change, but for the sake of argument, like I wanted to do this, and just stream as I was working on legitimate projects. That got kind of shut down because it was kind of like, well, that's not how things go, yada yada. I do want to do these videos on my render box, or my render titan, my render monster, whatever you want to call it. It's a custom build, and it's kind of conservative. 32 core Threadripper, 64 threads, two RTX 2080 Ti video cards in SLI, 64 gig of RAM, and a little bit of other nonsense. Perfect for stuff like this. However, that's in the office, and we are not allowed in the office because of the stupid coronavirus garbage. So, for the sake of argument, we have to deal with my home PC, or my gaming PC, which is literally nothing more than an 8350 8 core processor and an RX 580 uh, video card. I mean, I do have a small Quattro card that I found on eBay. It's a Quattro K2200 that I attempt to use, but it's definitely not apples to oranges. So, with that being said, and if anybody remotely gets past all that garbage, let's get started. So, we're going to go ahead and import our gearbox. Like I said, gearbox just found on GrabCAD. I have no affiliation to it. I didn't do anything to it. Obviously, depending on what you're doing, how large your model is, how many parts and pieces that are in it, will vary on how long it takes to import. This is actually relatively small, even though it's got a decent amount of gears and whatnot in it. Well, not even a decent amount, but it's got gears in it, which add to the computation, but fairly simple gearbox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some material to it. We're going to go ahead and start off with textured paint. I'm just going to throw some red on here. Alright, do I want to link the two materials? Yes, I do. Because if I change this right now, which I'm going to because I want it to be more of like a red-orange, not just a red. Cut down on some of my blue here. And okay. I want it to change both, not just one. My roughness, well, we'll leave the roughness at a 0.1. And we'll leave my bump at 0.2 millimeters. 0.2 millimeters, awfully small. So we'll take this up to about 0.6 millimeter. Now, a few things here. As you can see, I mean, it's kind of not bad. It's got a nice little amount of what you would consider like an orange peel. That's not noise. I mean, you have noise up here by the cap head bolt, but down here, that's actual like texture. It's not noise, which is what we want. That's something that you're going to want to see. Yeah, I mean, it looks decent. So, and this is the bad thing about trying to do stuff like this on a slower box. I mean, you don't need an absolute monster. The only thing that sucks is not so much the render, because the render, if you can have something that barely meets the minimum requirements for Keyshot, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to drop a couple grand in video cards like I did for my my box that I primarily use for rendering, then you can use GPU power to render pretty darn quick. But like I said, you can have the bare minimum requirements as a second computer, and you can just let it render for days on end, for however long it needs. And if you're doing this as a hobby, it's not a big deal. Like a couple of the items that I've just played with, I did a side-by-side on my laptop, which the laptop isn't nothing to thumb its nose at. It's probably a good $2,200 laptop. Nothing absolutely special, but at the same time, it's a nice laptop. I can't remember the stats, or I'd give them to you. So, side-by-side comparison, it took 6 hours for one frame. On that laptop, it took about 90-some seconds in GPU mode on my beast, so... Alright, so we're going to drop some rough stainless on our cap heads here. Now, I use all these presets as a starting point. Kind of like I did with the red paint. I started off with just the basic red, fine-tuned the color to what I wanted, and then manipulated, the texture a little bit, gave it a nicer peel look, even with stuff like this. So I'm going to assume that this face is bare machine, and so is this face down here. So if I go up to just basic steel, texture, actually, you know what? We're just going to say basic. We're just going to do polished steel here and here. It looks like garbage because it's polished. Yeah, I mean, just an absolute mirror. So we're going to change that right now. We're going to change this roughness. We're going to take this up to 0.16. It's kind of a, not so much a guess, just one of those, I've been doing this for a little while. So I should see the results that I want. So if I go in here, we'll go into product, and then I'm just going to do performance mode. So I can alternate back and forth between that. Performance mode will be your best friend if you're working on a PC that's a little bit slow. And that's perfectly fine. It allows you to do what you got to do. So what do we? I have no textures whatsoever. That's perfect because I want to actually, let me go ahead here, and I'm going to add a texture, and we're going to do a brushed radial, and we're going to drop that into the bump. I'm also going to try and take that into the color. What do we got here? Because at least with the color, it also gives me an idea of what it looks like beforehand. I'll get over there. There we go. So 1,000 millimeters is definitely way too big. Here, wait. Which direction am I going here? 1 millimeter. What's 1 millimeter give us? That's definitely not what I'm looking for. Let's take our radius down and see what's... It's not blowing my skirt up. Actually, you know what? Let's see. We got that over there, that over there. Let's see. What do I want? So you know what? Actually, I'm going to delete you. I have a better idea. We're going to go scratches. We're going to zoom out a little bit. It all comes down to, you know, how much you want to dive into settings. I also apologize for my squeaky chair. What do you want to do and what you are looking to get out of it. So I'm going to leave my bump height alone for right now, just because I want to see what the end result looks like. You know, with that extreme one direction or another. If that makes any sense. Early days of using Maya, I had a nice instructor from AutoCAD that basically said, instead of starting off with the fine tuning, take it from one extreme to the other so you could see an end result that has a lot of depth, and then take it back whatever direction you need to go. So the density, I'm going to actually take this up to about 5. Do 5. Open these up. Levels. Let's see what 3 looks like. Level scale, 0.5. What's 0.5? Oh, minimum of 1. You know, I'll just leave it at 1.5 then. So we'll come back up here. Density of 5, size of 0.5. It's going to have to be smaller than that. But thinness, you know, let's take thinness to 3 with a fall off of 0.5. What's that give us? Still a little too large. I'm gonna have to jack up the density. Okay, I guess 5 is the max on density. Nice to know. Let's see. No. Let's do cylindrical. What's cylindrical look like? All right. I'll probably come back to, well, let's see, scale. Yeah, we'll just go around 2 millimeters, and then we'll take this down to 0.5. Now, like I said, you're going to be playing with these quite a bit. Let's go ahead and let that refresh. Yeah, I'll go back and fine-tune that a little bit more later, but for sake of argument right now, that's fine. And since those are linked, obviously, whatever went on up here also went on down here. So, with that now, oh, I found something that I want to textured. Oh, wait, no. Double-click on you. There we go. All right. So, go into the scene. We're going to take the cover off, and we're also going to take the housing off. So now we have the gear set. Nothing too special, but we have to add some color to it as well. Honestly, if you're just doing a render of the outside of the container, you don't have to. For the sake of argument here, I'm going to pretend like we are exploding this in an animation, or doing like a cutout. So we'll go ahead and leave the, you know what, do I want that as, we'll just leave that the same as well. Yes. All right, so let's go up to stainless steel. Rough stainless. Oh. Actually, you know what? Let's use polished. I'll fine-tune that polish. Don't worry about it. Just doing the bearings right now. Nothing over the top special. All right. So, obviously, these are a little too much. So if I take out a performance mode and I let it sit here for a little bit, you can already see the reflections are going haywire. Oh, excuse me. And let's go performance mode and double click on this guy, and we're going to take that roughness also up to 0.16. It doesn't look too bad. I wish it was, sampling a little bit quicker, but hey. Like I said, I knew this was going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's alright. So, we got that going on. Let's see. We'll just do a circular brush on the front and the back shaft. Yes. Double click on this guy, go in here. Open up our material graph. And go into our texture map. Because the size is way too big here. You know what? That's actually not going to work for me. It's a radial brush. Yeah, we'll just do brush medium. That'll be fine. Do that. And that keyway is also... Don't know why the keyways are separate, but whatever. And this pin is going to be stainless. Should also apply it to the other side. And we're going to pick some textured steel for our gears. Yes. And that's one of the great things about it. I mean, literally, we're just dragging and dropping materials. It's nothing fancy. You know, I don't have to muck with things. Muck, by the way, M-U-C-K. With things for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. No problems whatsoever. Take this down there. And also this over here. Alright, right as rain. So, let's see here. Go into our plastics. I want something more of, we'll start with this, more of like a nylon. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, wait. No, I don't. That's not what I thought that was. I thought that was a wiper. That's my bad. That's going to be metal. Let's see. Here we just go up to that nabbit. Actually, I kind of like that black anodized. What do you look like? Ah, that might just be good enough for me. Yeah, we'll stick with the black anodized. I know that the part's not going to be aluminum, but that's okay. This is the artsy-fartsy side of things. I don't care about everything being perfect. What I mean by that is, like, it's not engineering where everything has to be literally perfect, because we're making it look nice. It doesn't have to have that complete form, fit, function. It literally needs to look nice. Alright, so a little bit left here, and you know what, I'm just going to do an anodized color up front. I know it doesn't go with it, and that's perfectly fine. So we'll go back to our scene here. Turn that bad boy back on. And we've been... Alright, what is going on here? Okay, YouTube's throwing a fit. That's interesting. But I digress. Anyhow, like I was trying to say before I saw the YouTube message, basically yeah, I'm not liking the way that input shaft is looking. So, let's see here. You know, let's just go with a textured stainless. See what it looks. No, I'm not going to link that material, but I am going to take this and apply it to that. Let's let that refresh samples for a minute. But as you can see, in about a half hour, I mean, we pretty much just dragged and dropped materials onto this, this gear assembly or this gearbox, and it's not too horrible. Is it photorealistic? Not really, and that's because of a couple things. I mean, first and foremost, we have performance mode turned on, but I mean, it's not supposed to be 100% photorealistic. At least not in this case. This is to get the point across as far as marketing is concerned. Make it look nice, make it look fairly fancy. That way they can get it into like marketing brochures and things of that nature. So what have we got going on here? 14 ray bounces, shadow quality 3. So a couple things I'm going to do here. We're going to go over to the environment tab. I'm just going to turn the background to a color, solid color instead of, the actual lighting environment or a backplate. And I'll come up to here in my camera, add a new camera front ISO. And I'm going to lock that down. So it doesn't matter. I could spin this around. It won't matter. I could still go back to my original camera that I wanted. I could go ahead and play with, depth of field and all that other stuff. Lens perspective. I'm not going to. Let me see what GPU can do for us. Probably not a lot. It's trying. It is definitely trying. Alright, so let's go into this. I'm going to bring that color down a little bit. Now I'm going to take that up to 0.2. I could use the lapping, but I really don't care to. Alright, so basically we'll just pretend like this is exactly how I wanted it, even though there's quite a few things that I would change on here. But I'm going to try and make this. I mean, we're already at 28 minutes. I don't want it to be too god-awful long. So we can go ahead and go up to our render tab. Output. Yeah, we can set these things up however we really want. Right now, well, first off, I always render as PNGs and I include alphas. Mainly because I don't know if a brochure is going to be on a different color, or if they want the background to be a different color. So instead of sitting there and guessing or re-rendering stuff, I'll just do it as PNG. So I'm just going to take it to 800 by 560 because I don't want it to render for too long. 64 samples is not going to be enough. I mean, we are already at 180 samples, and there are still a lot of grain going on. So let's go into custom control here. 1.5 on the GI. 1.2. No, I can't do 1.25, so I'll just do 2 as an aliasing or anti-aliasing, and we'll hit render. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it actually doesn't ask you. Okay, so render all 8 cores. Now, I apologize. Actually, you know what? we'll do 4 cores. Because I want the other 4 cores to run OBS. So, render. It's an 800 by 560, so it's going to be a small rendering, but it's still going to take a minute. And on top of which, hey, I only have 4 cores running. This is why I like my actual render computer, because, I mean, 64 threads, it makes it so nice. And especially with, like, normally I don't do the custom control anymore. When I first started out, that's how I ran it. Now I mainly push samples, and then I also push it through GPU. So even this maxed out might only be, like, say I ran it to the largest resolution that I could, which is like 7,000 and change by something. Rendered it at 2,000 samples. That's usually my go-to with a lot of scenes. It might take about 6 minutes to render, this image at large resolution with 2 RTX 2080 Ti's. I don't even want to know how long it would take on this box. It would be forever. Forever and maybe a day. I mean, as you can see, we're already 2 minutes in. Like, I've literally been rambling for 2 minutes waiting for this to render. And we probably have a couple more minutes of babbling and rambling of me. But this is basically just a fly-through of Keyshot. I'm definitely not a pro, even though I've been using this for a little while. With that being said, if there's something that you guys want to see and you come across this video, I mean, I may add my own stuff and just upload it without prompting. But if there's something that you want to see, throw them in the comments below in this video. Let me know what you're looking for, if you're having any issues with something, so on and so forth. And then we can make videos to go with that. Schedule is kind of a little bit weird with this whole Corona thing, or the COVID-19, because I am working from home, but the schedule is not as heavy as it usually is. So, like, yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've actually been able to put anything towards YouTube, and I don't know how long. What is up with that cat outside? That's weird. For any of you wondering, there's like a homeless cat camp. It's apparently not too far from here. So of course, can you hear it? All right, and now it stops. So, yeah, I mean, there's stray cats, or I should say feral cats, that just roam the neighborhood like crazy. And I constantly hear, like, I could be in here playing some, like, some Rainbow Six or some Modern Warfare or something, where I could be working, and, like, out of nowhere, I hear that. Just yowling. Not even meowing, just yowling. So, I kind of want to argue with the people that are like, well, meowing is a habit that's learned because of cats' interaction with humans. I don't know if there's any. I mean, maybe it's possibly because, the cat can hear me and it wants attention. I don't know, but it's kind of weird that I could be sitting in here just doing my thing, not even talking, not even streaming, anything like that. And it'll start making that racket. 5 minutes and 2 seconds. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have taken this long at work. So yeah, I mean, there are some things right off the bat you could tell that need fixed. Like, first off, all these washers and all these cap heads are all oriented in the same direction, which is driving me nuts. It does not make it look realistic at all. But I mean, the steel finish, not happy with. There's a few things that I'm not happy with, but that comes into the fine tuning that would probably take this out to an hour long video or an hour and a half long video. And I'm not going to torture anybody with that, mainly because I probably could not sit here and listen to myself, yap on about this. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, throw them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for, artsy fartsy videos, also throw those below. Who knows? Wash your damn hands. You know the drill. At least 20 seconds. Use hand sanitizer. Don't hoard the toilet paper and everything else in between. Like I said, I'm Matt from Latham. Until next time, I guess I'll catch you guys later.